Hey everybody, how's it going? Studman coming back at you once again, and today I am going to be talking to you about the Blu-rays that I got on Black Friday from Best Buy in particular. I got some other Blu-rays, I'll talk about them in another video. This video is all about the stuff that I got from Best Buy in particular, and there are quite a few of them, so I'm just going to get right to it. The first one I got here was The Wall, which I saw, I think, about a year ago now. It was on Amazon Prime, so I checked it out on Amazon Prime for free, and I really liked it, and I said, well, if it goes down in price to a decent price, I might even buy that on Blu-ray. Went down to $4, so I bought it on Blu-ray. Not a bad war movie, though. Pretty good. Speaking of movies that aren't that bad, but they have a really bad reputation, Assassin's Creed. This one actually I felt like was one of the better video game movie adaptations, if you will. Maybe it's not the best movie ever. It definitely has some issues. It's definitely like not a straight port of the video game, not a realistic or not even a good interpretation, I would say, of the video game. But in terms of what it is as a movie, I actually kind of liked it. I felt like it was a pretty good movie. I had a lot of fun with it. And again, like with The Wall, I was like, if this went down to a low enough price, I'd probably get it. And it went down to $4, so I went ahead and picked it up. Next up here I got Edward Scissorhands, which I actually already have on Blu-ray, but the one I have is not like the 25th anniversary edition or whatever this one is. So I wanted to get this one instead because I've heard it has a slightly better transfer. I don't know whether it does or not, but definitely want to get the best possible quality I can out of the film. So for $4 I said, sure, I'll go ahead and get that. Why not? Also went ahead and picked up Spectre. This is what was like the third or fourth movie in the Daniel Craig 007 film series. I have 3 of them, and this is one I did not have, so I decided to get this one in addition to all the others that I had, so that I could have all of them, or most of them. I don't know how many there really were, because I only ever watched Casino Royale, and I really need to watch all of them. But yeah, this one was only $3, and I didn't have it yet, so I wanted to pick it up. Or $4. I say $3, it was $4. Speaking of $4 titles, I also got Hidden Figures. I believe this one was $4. It was also available on 4K for $10, but it didn't strike me as the kind of movie that would necessarily benefit a whole lot from 4K. So I said, I'm just going to get this on Blu-ray. Blu-ray is probably good enough for Hidden Figures. And at the price of $4, that's a really good deal. And this is a very good movie. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. Really good movie. Really enjoyed it quite a bit. But, it's not what I'm necessarily going to watch a whole lot of, so I don't want to pay too much for it in the first place. And again, I don't think it's going to look too incredibly better on 4K, so Blu-ray it is. Next up here, diving away from the $4 titles for a moment here, I got Rampage on Blu-ray for $8. They had it on sale for I think $9 or $10 on 4K somewhere else. I didn't know if it was going to be that price anywhere online, so I didn't get it. I didn't bother even worrying about that. I just got it here on Blu-ray for $8. Didn't know if it was going to be a movie I liked in the first place, and it's really like a CGI special effects show, and even though it's a lot of action, if you got a lot of CGI special effects in particular, it's not necessarily going to look great in 4K. It's going to look, a lot of them look fantastic, especially if they have really good special effects. And I'm sure this has pretty good special effects, but I don't know how good it is. So, not knowing how good it was, I didn't necessarily want to bite the bullet on 4K. And, the lowest price I found online at the time was like $15. So I was like, I don't want to pay $15 for a movie I'm not sure about. $8 though, just to see if it's something that I like. Yeah, I went ahead and did that just because, well, I could afford it right now. So, went ahead and did that. I also decided to pick up Isle of Dogs, or I Love Dogs. Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of the title, I think. This one actually went down to a lower price than I paid for it. I paid $10 on Best Buy's website on Black Friday. And then a few days later on Amazon, it went down to $6. And I was like, what? So here's the thing about this one. Not available on 4K. I probably, even though it's not necessarily going to look better on 4K, it's one of those movies that's probably not going to benefit from it. Uh, Even though that's the case, I probably still would have gotten it on 4K if it was available on 4K, or at least I would have waited to get it on 4K. But since I saw it's not on 4K, I just said I'm going to get the Blu-ray. And $10, pretty good price for a movie that pretty much just came out maybe a few months ago. So, and I saw this one in theaters, absolutely loved it. So I know I love it, and I know I want it in my collection. So there it is in my collection. Next up, I got Annihilation, which is another one I didn't quite know a lot about yet. I hadn't actually seen this movie in theaters, and I've heard some good things, and I've heard people say it's kind of meh. So it seems like to me the scores average from like a 5 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 or something like that. But I wanted to see for myself. You know me, I love sci-fi movies. I adore science fiction. So anytime I can get my hands on some good sci-fi, I am all for it. But I didn't know if it was a movie I'm going to love or just kind of be okay with, right? So I didn't want to bite the bullet and spend a whole lot of money on the 4K title, which I believe was also $15. So because the 4K was so much more expensive than the Blu-ray, I just said I'm going to get the Blu-ray for $8, and then I will see if it's something that I really like. And if it is, then I'll be like, darn, I should have got it on 4K or something stupid like that. But, you know, whatever. Just happy to have this so I can finally check it out. That's a lot of these movies, guys, are just movies that I haven't seen yet that I wanted to see, and they were pretty cheap. So, yeah. Speaking of which, I also got Lego Ninjago movie, which my nieces and nephew saw during the spring, I believe it was, when it came out. I never actually got to see this one, but I heard them quoting it quite frequently, so I was like, alright, I gotta check this out, obviously. I'm not even really a big fan of Lego Ninjago. I've seen a couple clips from, I wouldn't even say clips, I've just like, it's on TV and I see it for maybe 5 or 10 minutes or something like that, you know what I mean? It's not something that I've actually sat down and tried to watch, the actual TV show. But as I understand it, the movie doesn't necessarily have a whole lot to do with the TV show, and even if it does, it's not necessarily important to know what's happening in the TV show or know who the people are from the TV show, the characters from the TV show, in order to understand and appreciate and have fun with this movie. So for $6, I said, sure, why the hell not? Loved Lego Batman, loved the Lego movie. I'm sure I'll love the Lego Ninjago movie as well. Next up, I got The Dark Tower. I've heard really bad things about this, but it is based on a book that I really, or a book series that I really loved when I was like a teenager. Introduced to me by my brother, actually, and he told me that while it's not a perfect movie, it's kind of okay. And he usually is a much harsher critic of things than I am. So the fact that he even thought it was okay is probably, it's to me an indicator that I might not hate it, that I might like it a little bit. And I was hoping it would drop down to $4. It only dropped down to $6, but I was like, you know what? I can afford the $2 extra this Christmas. I don't know what happened down the line to other Christmases, but this Christmas I can afford it. So I'm going to go ahead and get it for $6. Check it out for myself. Next up here, I got Super Troopers 2. Love Super Troopers 1. Haven't seen Super Troopers 2 yet, and it was only $4 freaking dollars. Fantastic deal. Couldn't pass that up, just based on the fact that it's a sequel to a movie that I really enjoy from several years ago. So definitely wanted to see what they did with the sequel. Can't wait to check this out. I don't care if it's maybe not as good as the original. As long as it's got some laughs, I'm sure I'll be happy with having paid $4 for it, you know what I mean? Also, out of their $4 titles, I decided to pick up Morgan, and I wasn't too sure about this one. I watched a trailer of it, and it seemed interesting to me. When it comes to sci-fi, I'll watch pretty much anything that looks halfway decent, and this one looked like a halfway decent sci-fi movie. I'm a huge sci-fi nut. This one, it had some details in the trailer that kind of sparked my interest. Haven't really heard anything fantastic about this movie, but I haven't heard anybody saying anything bad about it either. So, just decided to take a chance on it. $4, I don't think it's too much to pay to take a chance on a movie that's about, like I always say, It's about the price you would have paid for a rental at Blockbuster. And if I was willing to pay it for a rental at Blockbuster 10, 15 years ago, I should be willing to pay to own it in high definition today. You know what I mean? Next up, I got Kung Fu Panda 3, which I have not seen. I have actually not seen Kung Fu Panda 2, for that matter. But I own 2 and I don't own 3. So now I can watch all of the Kung Fu Panda movies. I did enjoy the first one, so I got the second one for $4, and then I never bothered getting around to getting the third one. And it was on sale brand new for $4 from Best Buy during Black Friday. So decided to go ahead and pick it up sight unseen, just because, well, if I like the first one, chances are I'll like the second and third one. Or if I don't like them, I probably won't hate them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And again, not paying too much just to see it, you know. Next up, I got Ghost in the Shell. Much like The Dark Tower, this is one I have a little bit of familiarity with. I would say I have more familiarity with The Dark Tower than I do with Ghost in the Shell. But I have seen some episodes of the show. I believe I saw the movie once. I don't remember much about the animated film based on the animated series, or I believe it's based on the animated series. Could be the other way around. I don't, like I said, I don't know all there is to know about it. I'm not a huge fan of Ghost in the Shell. But what I have seen, there's a lot of the concept behind Ghost in the Shell that I find very interesting and very good. I think it's a very awesome story. So I've heard that they totally, I've heard some people say they totally screwed that up with the movie. The movie is terrible, yada, yada. And then I heard somebody, like the guy that I usually watched the show with, he actually told me it wasn't too bad. And I was like, wow, if this guy, who is like a pretty hardcore fan of the series, has, I think he's seen it more than once. He's a pretty big fan of the series, and he likes the story behind it and everything. If he liked the movie, then maybe there's something to it. So I definitely wanted to give it a chance and check it out. And $6, I could afford it, so I decided to get it. You know what I mean? Next up, I got Paddington 2, which I watched the first one and was surprised that I really loved it. And it was so shockingly good. The first one was so shockingly good that just the second I saw that Paddington 2 was coming out, I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to like that one too. And sure enough, it got really good reviews and really good ratings, and so I was like, okay, if everybody loved the first one and it was good, then everybody loving the second one is probably also a good sign. This one was $6, and I felt like that was actually a really good price for a movie that I believe just recently came out. So, can't wait to check this one out as well. I'm sure it's fantastic. Next up, I got Murder on the Orient Express, the newest telling of it, the newest version of it, that is. Have not yet seen this, but my family saw it, and they said it was a really good movie. So, because they liked it, I was like, you know what? If they like it, it's probably a pretty damn good movie. So I've been meaning to see it ever since, but I was waiting for it to go down in price. And of course, Black Friday came around, went down to $6 on Blu-ray, so I decided to pick this one up. Glad to have it in my collection, and now I can finally check it out. Man, a lot of these movies are literally just, I wanted to check it out finally. But not this one. This one is Lady Bird, and I got it for $8. I don't believe there was a sale for it on 4K at all, anywhere, to my knowledge. But it was on sale for $8 at Best Buy on Blu-ray, so I decided to get the Blu-ray for $8. Because I watched this on, I believe it was Amazon Prime streaming, and absolutely loved it. This is a fan-freaking-tastic movie. I mean, I had watched it, I guess it was a little bit after I saw, like, Pretty in Pink for the umpteenth time. But, like, after you see all these John Hughes movies and then you go and watch something like this, it's like, this is the evolution of John Hughes, in my opinion. This kind of movie is the evolution of John Hughes. This is where it can go, and probably where it should go. Loved what they did with this movie, and I hope to see more like it. And I'm glad I have it in my collection, obviously. Next up, for $8, I got Batman Ninja Batman. Seemed like a very interesting take on Batman. just from the animation style and everything, and I haven't seen it yet, so I wanted to pick this one up, and it was only $8, so I was like, yeah, $8 for Batman Ninja? It's a pretty good price. I've been following the price on this one. It's been steadily over $10 since it came out, so dropping down to $8, maybe not the biggest discount ever, but $8 is, I believe, the lowest that it had ever been, so pretty damn good deal. And it came with the nice embossed slipcover, so pretty cool stuff there. And yeah, I mean, some people scoff at the anime influence and the anime style for this. I actually thought that was a really cool idea, and I can't wait to see what they did with this one. So yeah, next up I got Insidious: The Last Key, which is, I believe, the last Insidious movie they made, or at least one of the last ones. And I haven't seen it yet. I have seen, I believe, 1 through 3. I've seen the first 3, I know that much. But I did not get to see the last one yet. The third movie I remember being not that good. It was like okay, but I didn't really like the direction they took with it. And so I wasn't really willing to pay a whole lot of money to see the fourth one because, well, the third one was kind of not as good. The fourth one, like, maybe it's even worse. Who knows, right? I didn't know. I still don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But got it here for $6. So that's a really good price because I've been waiting for this one to drop for quite some time. And it's one of those, for some reason, there's a bunch of the newer horror movies that have come out that just will not drop in price. Annabelle Creation, if you get in the Annabelle 2-pack, you can get the Annabelle 2-pack for like $10 to $15, and that's a really great deal. But if you already have Annabelle and you want just Annabelle Creation, for some reason, will not drop below like $12 fucking on its own. And I'm just like, seriously? I can get both movies for that price, and you want me to pay that price for one of the movies? Fuck off. I'm not going to do it. I will wait until I can get the price I want to pay for it, guys. I really will. This one is a perfect example of that. I waited until I can get the price I wanted because it was just hovering around $10 to $15. And it dropped to $6 for Black Friday. I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of the price I wanted to pay for it. So, awesome. Speaking of titles I got for $6, Red Sparrow. That was the last title that I got from Best Buy on Black Friday here for $6. I have yet to see this movie. I believe it dropped to maybe, I don't know if it was one of the $10 titles or the $15 titles on Best Buy, but I know it dropped to a halfway decent price on 4K. I just wasn't sure if it was the kind of movie that really would benefit from 4K, and I wasn't sure if it was kind of the movie that I would want to get on 4K. And I've heard some people say it's not very good, and other people say it's fantastic, so I didn't know exactly what to think about it. All I knew for sure was at $6 for the Blu-ray, that's a bigger price disparity than it was for like 3 billboards. So I got 3 billboards up in Missouri on 4K because it was $15 4K, but $10 Blu-ray. So that's not as big of a difference in pricing there. Not as big of a savings if I get it on Blu-ray, right? Whereas with this one, the difference between like $6 and $15. It's almost a $10 difference. So I can save a lot of money just getting the Blu-ray in that case. So that's what I did. I'm hoping I made the right choice. I'm hoping this is a very good movie though as well. So can't wait to check that out. I said that about all these, but it's true. I mean, I can show you right now all the movies that I got here that I have not seen yet. I will pull them all down for you. All these movies are movies I have not seen yet. And that's basically what my Black Friday Blu-ray shopping has become. Is like, when I can find a movie I haven't seen yet that I want to see that's really cheap on Blu-ray, I get it. That's what it's become for me now. It's crazy. But, yeah, that's what I have decided to do this year. Who knows what next year holds. But I'm definitely excited to see what happens next year. At least for this year, I gotta say, Black Friday was very good to me. Very good indeed. So, that'll do it for Best Buy Black Friday, but I still have a few other things to talk about that I got from, like, Amazon and the like during the Black Friday holiday deals and whatnot. So I will do that in the next video. But for this video, well, I'm done. It's over. I'll catch you later, guys. Peace.